Good morning, everybody. I hope you're all okay. So here we are now. It's Thursday morning during our second week of home learning, and I have seen lots of fabulous work that has been received by your class teachers and your TAs. I've been able to join some of your lessons as well, and I've been able to see how fantastically you're working at home. So we are all very, very proud of you. So keep going, parents and carers, keep going too. Your support with home learning isn't going unnoticed, and it's very, very much appreciated. So thank you. So we're here today for our second assembly of the week, and we're carrying on with the theme of staying positive. Okay, but today's assembly is all about a little phrase called growth mindset. Okay, and this is all to do with when you find something, a challenge. Okay, so in terms of having a growth mindset, it's all about facing a challenge, or if you come across something which sets you back, okay, something that you don't find easy. And I'm sure all of us can think of as one thing that we find a challenge. It might be something as an ongoing challenge, you find something difficult, or it might be something that you come across during the day. Okay, and so it could be something like a piece of maths work. Okay, so you've been set a piece of maths work, or it could be a phonics activity, something that you've been set by your class teacher, which you're finding a challenge. Okay, and if you find it a challenge, you might say, I love a challenge. I absolutely love a challenge. I love when something's hard, okay, because it means that I can work really hard on it and then I'll finally crack it, okay. Or you could say, I hate a challenge and I can't do it, okay. I'm going to give up, and because it's too hard, I'm just not going to do it, okay. And I want you to have a think about, which one do you think our phrase of a growth mindset links to? Do you think it links to us saying, I love a challenge, I can do this, okay? Or do you think it links to us saying, I can't do this and I'm not going to do it? If you have a growth mindset, have a think. You might have a talk to your adult or whoever's with you at the moment, which one? So if you've got a growth mindset, and you've come across a challenge, that challenge might be doing some kind of exercise. You might have found Mr. Baskerville's PE lesson a challenge yesterday, or it might be a challenge you might find tying your shoelace a challenge, or it might be a piece of work your class teacher has set you, or it might be even cleaning your bedroom. If your parents asked you to tidy your bedroom, you might find that a challenge, okay? So if you've got a growth mindset, will you be saying, I love a challenge, I can overcome this challenge? Or will you be saying, I can't do this, I'm not going to do it, it's too hard, I'm going to give up? Which one do you think? Okay, so I'll tell you that having a growth mindset is all about being positive and remaining positive, remaining focused. So if you've got a growth mindset, you put a positive spin on everything. So if you come across a challenge, okay, if you have a growth mindset, you will definitely be saying, I love a challenge, okay, I can do this, I'm going to work really, really hard, and I'm going to overcome my challenge, okay? So if you have a growth mindset, it means that you are really, really positive about things when you come into focus or come into contact with a challenge, okay? If you come into contact or you face a challenge and you're saying things like, I can't do this, I'm thick, I'll never be able to do this, this is too hard, okay, all right, that means that you have a fixed mindset. And by that, it means that you've already told yourself that you will never be good at it. Okay, you're just going to give up at it, and you're going to walk away and just forget about it. Okay, And during this period of lockdown and while you're doing your home learning, we need to be making sure that we have a growth mindset and that we look at things and overcome challenges in a positive way. Okay, because that will really help us with our home learning and with any challenges that we face during this period. And then we also need to make sure that even when hopefully things get back to normal and we come back to school, okay, and we're able to do the things that we really enjoy, we carry on having a growth mindset. Okay, so I want to have a look at some of the things that we might find a challenge, okay? So as we've said, and I'm sure you're able to come up with some already, that if you think about your home learning already, have you found anything a little bit of a challenge, or have you not been able to do some of the activities that you've been set, or have you found something particularly hard? Okay, so have a little think, and I want you to think about just one of those things, okay, that you have found a little bit of a challenge. So it might be a piece of science work, or it might be, like I say, Mr. Baskerville's PE lesson yesterday, or it might be answering a question that your class teacher has asked you, okay, or doing some arithmetic or some maths work, okay. So have a think about that and think about some of the things that you may have said, and I'm sure some of your parents and carers have already heard some things like, I give up, I can't do this, this is too hard, I'm rubbish at this, I'll never be able to do this, I don't understand this, okay? I'm sure we've all said one of those phrases already during our home learning, and if you haven't, that's absolutely brilliant, because that tells me that you most definitely have a growth mindset, okay? And what we want is we want everybody to have a growth mindset so that we face our challenges positively so that we can overcome them. So if you have a growth mindset, it means that you're going to really focus, okay? You're telling yourself that even though you find it hard, you're still going to crack it, okay? So we need to be making sure that we put a positive spin on our challenges, okay? So some of the things that we might have said or we might say to ourselves is, you might say, I give up, okay? So what can we say instead of I give up? Okay, and one of the things that you might be able to say is, I'll try a different way. Okay, so you might have a challenge and you've tried one way and it doesn't work. Okay, so rather than saying I give up, okay, you're going to say to yourself, I'll try a different way. Okay, all right, so that we can carry on and still tackle that challenge. So you might be doing a maths calculation, okay, and you're finding it hard and it's not working. Okay, so what, instead of saying I give up, I'm not going to do it, you might think, okay, of a different way you could tackle that maths calculation. So you might be able to ask an older brother or sister, you might be able to ask your adult in the house, or you might be able to ask your class teacher, and that means you're trying something different to help you to get there in the end. Okay, another thing that we might say is, this is too hard. Okay, so instead of saying this is too hard, one thing that you could say to yourself is, this will get easier the more I practice. Okay, it's a bit like riding a bike. Okay, so the first time you start to ride a bike, okay, it is hard, and the reason it's hard is because we've never done it before. It's the same as something in maths, something in phonics, something in history, something in PE. If you've never done it before, you may find it hard, and that's okay. That's completely normal, okay? So rather than trying and then just saying, this is too hard, I give up, I'm not going to do it, okay? Try saying to yourself, this will get easier the more I practice, okay? And making sure that you carry on practicing, okay? So you might think of something like, you say, riding a bike, having a go at a skateboard, learning to play basketball, learning to play a game. You might have had a new game at Christmas, okay? And you find it hard straight away, but the more you practice, the better you will be at it. The next thing you might say is you might have done a piece of work, you might have done a lovely piece of artwork, you might have practiced your spellings or done some handwriting, and then you might say, this is rubbish, okay? I'm sure we've all done something and you've had a look at it and thought, this is rubbish. But instead of saying, this is rubbish, one of the things that you might say to yourself or ask yourself is, what can I do to make it better? So rather than saying it's rubbish, which I'm sure it isn't, but rather than saying that, you might ask yourself the question, or even ask somebody in your house, what can I do to make it better? So that you're not giving up, okay? You're not saying something's rubbish and then forgetting about it, but you're thinking about, well, what can I do to make it better? So it could be your writing. You might have done some writing and you might think, this is rubbish. I don't like this piece of writing. I don't like my handwriting, okay? So rather than saying it's rubbish, have a think about what can you do. Okay, can you have a go at rewriting one of the sentences? Can you add an adjective in there? Can you add alliteration or a simile, some of our language features in there? Can you add some missing capital letters? Okay, and try and break things down so that it becomes easier so that we can remain positive. Okay, so you might have had some maths questions. So your class teachers on a daily basis are setting you some maths questions to do. And if, first of all, you find them hard, rather than doing all of the maths questions, why not try just doing some of the first maths questions you've been given, okay? And keep practicing those rather than having a go at all of them and feeling as though you find them really, really hard. So have a go at the first ones, then you might ask your adult to send them back to your class teacher, or your adult might check them for you. And then once you've got those all right, then you can have a go at the next ones, okay? So try breaking things down so that we can remain having a growth mindset, not a fixed mindset. Okay, and I'm sure you can talk to your adult or the people in your household and ask them, what do they find a challenge? Okay, and I'm sure they're able to talk about some of the things that they find a challenge and ask them, well, what do they do? Okay, so it might be your adult might enjoy going out running. Okay, so they might find running a challenge, but what do they do? Rather than give up and say, I can't do it, running's too hard, what are they doing to help them, okay, to keep running? It might be that they find some of your adults might find some of your work a bit of a challenge because they haven't done that kind of work for a very, very long time since they were at school. So what are they doing to help them to understand your work? So it's really, really important that we stay positive and we have a growth mindset, thinking about and changing those words that we use. So rather than saying things like this is too hard, you say something, you say to yourself, I'm finding this tricky, but I'm going to keep going with it. And having that growth mindset, that positive outlook on things will most definitely enable us to get better at things and will enable us to be able to do the work that you've been set during your home learning, okay? If you straight away say, I'm not doing it, I can't do it, and you close down, put your pen down and turn away from the computer or turn away from your work, you will never be able to do it, okay? Because you've already told yourself, I can't do it, okay? But if you say to yourself, I do find this hard, but I'm going to keep going. I'm going to go and ask an adult, I'm going to go and ask my brother, or I'm going to go and ask my mum or my dad or whoever it is at home to message my class teacher for some help. Okay, that then means you will get there in the end. Okay, and those things which are hard, they're always worth it. They really, really are. So keep working hard, and I know that the majority of you are working really hard at home. Okay, so try and change the things that you say to yourself when you face a challenge, and we all face a challenge on a daily basis. I'm sure there's something that we all find a challenge on a daily basis. Okay, so I'm just going to end and finish our assembly for today. Okay, all to do with having a growth mindset. Some lovely little things that you need to say to yourselves and remind yourselves to help you to have a positive mindset. So one of them is mistakes are a part of learning, and they most definitely are. We always learn from our mistakes. We really, really do. Okay, and mistakes are always a part of the learning process. We all make mistakes, and we most definitely learn from our mistakes. Okay, believe in yourself. You can do what your class teachers are asking you to do, or you can do what your parents are asking you to do. So if they ask you to go and tidy your bedroom and you say you can't tidy your bedroom, I'm sure you can tidy your bedroom, even if it's just a little bit. Okay. Another thing that I'll say to you is have a positive mindset for everything, okay? And having a positive mindset is everything. It's really, really important, okay? It'll most definitely help every single one of us during this period, and it'll also help every single one of us in our lives, okay? Don't quit. Don't give up. Okay, keep trying, keep having a go, break things down to help you and do things in small steps. But most importantly, don't give up, don't quit. Okay, and you also need to making sure that if you're saying, I cannot do this, add the word on yet at the end. I cannot do this yet. And that yet is telling yourself and the people around you that you will soon be able to do it. Okay, so like I say, if something's new, you won't be able to do it straight away most often. Okay, but I cannot do this yet, because we will learn to do it, we will practice, and we will get better. Okay, and the last one, you can and you will. Okay, so everything you're being asked of from your class teacher and your TA, you can do it. They know what you can do. They see you most days in the classroom when we are in school. They know you very, very well. So they definitely know that you can do the work, that you are set. You can ask the question, you answer the questions, sorry, that they ask of you, okay? And you can do it, and you will do it. Okay, so there are some positive phrases that you need to remember. So mistakes are a part of learning. Believe in yourself. Don't quit. Mindset is everything. So we want to have a growth mindset. I cannot do this yet, and that yet is really important. And you can and you will. Okay. So I want everybody to be thinking about how they can have a growth mindset. We don't want any fixed mindsets. We want growth mindsets, okay, to help us to achieve and overcome those challenges that we face. And it's fine to have a challenge, okay? It keeps us learning, it keeps us on our toes. So keep facing those challenges really, really positively, and you most definitely will crack them and overcome them. Okay, well done to all of you. I hope you've enjoyed that assembly, and I hope to hear about your growth mindsets as we carry on with our home learning. So have a lovely day, everybody, and we have tomorrow our shout outs So we will be congratulating those children who deserve a shout out, who've worked super hard and who have really stood out. And I know all of you have been working really hard. Okay, so even though you might not get a shout out tomorrow, you will, I'm sure, will get a shout out in our future shout out celebration assemblies. Okay, so keep working hard. I'm very proud of you all as always, and have a lovely day, everybody. See you soon.